What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Widow Wednesday, November 8th, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Widow Wednesday's own, Gary Witta.
Still kind of sinking in for me that this is a real thing. That
You have a job again.
This is legit on a regular basis. I'm here on every Wednesday.
Yep.
I may not be here next Wednesday. We might have to figure out.
Here we go.
I'm already backsliding. We may have to figure a different day for next week.
And I needed to ask you, too. I meant to do this off air, but I'll do it on air. Can you do Friday as well? I'll be in Maryland for Extra
Friday
Life.
of this week?
Yeah.
We'll talk after the show. Maybe.
Okay.
Wait, where are you going to be?
I'll be in Maryland.
So I wouldn't be hosting with you.
No, you'd be with Tim Geddes.
Yeah, I just remembered I'm really busy.
I understand. Yeah.
We'll talk after the show.
Okay, cool. What I want to start with, Gary Widow Wednesday, is that you have an Xbox One X.
I do. I have two. I have an Xbox 2X.
Oh my gosh. Why'd you get two?
Xboxes.
Okay.
Xbox
Xboxies? Xbox One X's?
Xbox.
Why'd you get two? What are you doing?
I ordered one.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered one. The day it came out, the day the pre-orders opened, I went and got one because I didn't know if the demand was going to be. I don't know. Do you know? Can you walk into a store right now and just get one? Or
depends what store where you are, kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. But it's not totally impossible to get.
No.
Okay.
Not from what I've heard, but it's all anecdotal.
Well, I like to have the new shiny things, and I like to have them on day one. I'm just a sucker. I keep the American economy afloat with consumer nonsense.
That's why we let you in the country.
Yeah. I have to have the things.
Yeah.
And so I ordered it, the Scorpio edition. And then about a week ago, Microsoft decided they were going to put me on their influencers. I'm an influencer.
You are? Well, because of this?
I mean, look how much it's already changing my life.
Exactly.
Just the proximity to you, the Greg Miller halo effect.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm starting to feel like a little, just the slightest taste of what it must be like to be you.
What's it taste like? Chicken wings?
Like the best chicken wings.
Yeah, okay, good.
That's what it tastes like.
All right.
So they sent me that box,
the
that
one we got
box
unboxed on Gamescast. Gotcha.
So I set it up last night and had a chance to kind of play with it a little last night and this morning.
What are your thoughts? You have a 4K TV.
So I got the 4K TV, and that's part of the reason why I got the TV was I thought, well, with the Xbox, the new one coming, 4K. Some kind of 4K Rubicon has now been passed where there is actually stuff to do. 4K TVs have been around for a while,
sure,
but there was always nothing to watch on them. Now I think we're getting to a point where there's a decent amount of stuff to watch. If you go to the store, most of the new release movies are out in 4K format. Apple TV is now streaming in 4K. Netflix is in 4K. Now we have 4K video games with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. I'm in. And my previous TV was 7 or 8 years old, so I was ready to make the leap.
Okay.
And so I set it up last night, played a little bit today. What did I play? I played some Assassin's Creed Origins, played some Call of Duty World War II, played some Forza 7, a couple of other things that are slipping my memory right now. But it's almost, I don't know if you've had this experience, but it's almost jarring at first when you see games in 4K. They don't look like video games. There's something, it's almost wait, what? I'm not saying it's necessarily even a good or a bad thing. It just takes a little while to kind of, because you're used to video games having a slightly, even at 1080p, having that slightly
rough
pixelated
edges.
look.
Yeah.
And then when you go to 4K, those edges are so kind of fine tuned that it almost takes a little bit of getting used to. And actually, a couple of the games stuttered a little bit in places, so it's not super perfect, fluid, eyeball meltingly. Oh my god, this is like having a high end PC, but noticeably, demonstrably higher end than what we've had up until this point. So I'm just now getting my toes in the water, but so far pretty cool, pretty good.
Okay,
yeah.
I've
got a bunch more games to try.
Exactly, you have a lot to do for Widow Wednesday, which may be Widow another day next week.
Widow another day, yeah.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. We do it before jumping in to your questions, giving you some perspective, reading your bad PSN names, and hanging out with the best friends. If you like that, you can watch us record it live at twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. However, we don't look at the chat. If anybody wants to be part of the show, they have to write in to kindafunny.com/KFGD. If you're watching live and we screw something up, it's your job to keep us honest. You need to write in to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Just the facts, ma'am. No editorializing. We can then set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames or listening on podcast services around the globe. No matter where you get the show, thank you for your support. We couldn't do it without you. If you want to go a little bit further, go over to patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Kick us a buck or two. You'd get party mode early right now. Exclusive access is up to party mode Smash Brothers, where Nick gets Andy very angry. Also, though, if you don't want to pay, you can get it on YouTube a week later, just like the Five Nights at Freddy's, which is live on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames right now, but I digress. Spilled water all over my notes right before I came in.
Oh, no.
Right at the shrine of Shuhei, so we're going to have to deal with that now. But let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. Stumbled over it a bit there, huh, Kev?
No.
6 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen!
And they are meaty. We have some meaty things to go through today, Gary.
Oh,
so
yeah?
strap in, pour yourself a
I thought
tea.
when I was kind of browsing around this morning, I thought maybe it was kind of a slow news
Well,
day.
it's a lot of people had
maybe
their
not.
a lot of people had their investor calls. So we got a lot
that's
of stats,
always
numbers and information.
That's always
out of there.
interesting.
And Take-Two, we're going to get to in a while. They set up a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
For now, though, let's start number 1. Niantic is working on a Harry Potter AR game. This is via TechCrunch. Niantic Labs had tremendous success with Pokemon Go, which paired their expertise in building location-based augmented reality mobile experiences with the top-flight IP with a ravenous fan base. So it stands to reason that we should expect a similar fan response to Harry Potter Wizards Unite, an AR title set to launch in 2018, co-developed by Warner Brothers Interactive and its new sub-brand, Portkey Games. That's a Harry Potter reference if you didn't know.
Portkey is a Harry Potter thing.
Yeah, it's like, I think anything. Kevin, anything can be a portkey, right? But don't they use the boot?
Yep.
I'm thinking of the boot to be a portkey.
So that suggests that this new sub-brand is specifically just to make Harry Potter games.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
Niantic building a Harry Potter game similar to Pokemon Go was rumored last year when the company noted that it had acquired the rights to the app. But the rumor was subsequently debunked, oddly enough, with the original article containing the information pulled from the web. The app is now official, but the details are still scarce, with the launch timeframe of just sometime next year, but it sounds like there will be significant influence from the Niantic game Ingress, which allows players to roam the real world, collecting power-ups, defending locations, and exploring their environment. The mechanics of Ingress would actually translate pretty well to the fictional Harry Potter universe, and seems almost ready-made for a fantasy spellcasting coat of paint to replace its science fiction special forces veneer. Also, like Pokemon Go, it could benefit from the location database built up by Ingress originally and expanded by the Pokemon title to incorporate real-world locations into the in-game experience. How stoked are you? Harry Potter, the chief export from your homeland of England.
It's the chief export.
Chief
I mean,
export.
it's certainly one of the larger cultural exports of
That and Benny Hill.
past 20 years or so.
Sure.
Benny Hill. Huh. It's weird what you Americans have decided is a value from
He doesn't
England.
speak
I
for
feel
us.
like we've offered quite a lot of good stuff over the years. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, DNA, all kinds of amazing things that we've put forth into the world. And you decided to take Benny Hill and Are You Being Served?
Is
which I
Loch
thought
Ness
was very
Monster one of
strange.
you? Is that one of yours? Is Loch Ness Monster there for you?
Well, I mean, no, because it's not a real thing.
I like how you had to think about it.
But so I'm not the best person to comment on this because I'm not a Harry Potter person.
Sure.
But I can certainly understand that there are many of those people out there.
Right.
And you know, they took Pokemon, which is something that millions of people loved, and they put it in this AR context, and it was a huge hit. Do it again with another thing that millions of people love, and I'm sure they'll have the same degree of success.
This one gets me excited. Like, I enjoyed my time with Pokemon Go, but not having any real connection to the world,
Is it
the
still
characters.
so? When Pokemon Go first came out, it had a moment, right? Like, it was the shit. Like, everyone was doing it. We used to drive around here, and people were congregated,
Yeah.
because those were gyms and places where you could get Pokemon.
In all my life of video games, I've never seen something like Pokemon Go, where it was walking through my neighborhood in the Sunset, which was, you know, generally elderly folks and some families. There'd be kids on these
was
corners
crazy.
sitting there camped out trying to get gyms
20,
and screaming.
30 people. It was like
And
eerie.
you'd
It's like,
pass
why are
people
all
on the
those
street
people?
and they'd be running, talking about a Charmander or whatever. And you're just like, what fucking
and you would
universe
see all
am
these
I in?
viral videos of people rushing across the street to get some rare Pokemon
Yeah.
and stuff. But you don't see that now. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's tapered off
Yeah.
from the initial frenzy. But I'm guessing Pokemon Go is still very popular. But we're
Yes.
out of the kind of the viral. Oh my god, this thing's going to take over the world phase.
I think maybe if it would have had stronger servers, not so many problems at launch, you would have seen more people stick around. But people like me jumped in and like, man, this keeps crashing, or this is what. And this was fun for a while. I played it for like a week and then I was done.
My kid she loves Pokemon. I took her to we live not far from San Francisco Zoo.
Yeah.
And we took her to the zoo because she was looking for, there were all kinds of like Pokemon hotspots around there, and she kept bumping into other kids going, "Oh, are you playing Pokemon?" I was like, "Oh my god, this is like a legit humongous thing. Like you're seeing it out there, and I think what was interesting about it seemed so much more visible because people were out on the street in public view doing it. It wasn't like, I think it'd be a big hit, but if everyone's like kind of doing it at home, you don't see it everywhere you go. But with Pokemon Go, you saw it everywhere.
It was a movement, right? And that was the thing of like the comic shop we're located above here. Kind of funny now. They're a Pokestop, and we were super excited about it at the time because that dates when we were looking at this place. And then like the bar, like right around the corner from my old place, they were a Pokestop, but they had a sign out front that said "No Pokemon in here." So it's like this meta game they were leaning into it.
In a bunch, some places would advertise that they have Pokemon, and other places are like, "No, don't come in here. We don't want Pokemon people." But like you said, when it came out, you were all up in it.
Yeah.
But now you're not, right? You got bored of it and moved on to the next thing. So I wonder what their retention has been like.
Yeah.
How many people have stuck around?
What I talked about when Kind of Funny Games Daily first started and they did that Pokemon Go Fest or whatever in Chicago, and that one, I don't know if you caught it, it was a huge disaster and didn't work out. But thousands of people went there, and it was for me, a big behind the curtain of like, oh no, these people there's still an audience for this game that is still very much into it.
It's hard for me to believe, even though Harry Potter is a global sensation. I mean, there's no question about that multi-billion-dollar industry with theme parks and movies and all kinds of stuff. It's a legitimate. I mean, and it's weird to think that like 100 years from now, it's still going to be up there with like, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and the great children's stories.
People are going to remember and read it forever. Yeah.
It's going to be there forever, and that's incredible. It's hard for me to imagine though that we will see, like, we're not going to see Potter maniacs on every street corner looking for some rare.
You'd think not, yeah.
Snitch, is that a thing? A snitch?
That's a thing. That's a thing from Harry Potter. Yeah.
Because I don't really, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
You call it a
right
snitch
now.
to win Quidditch.
They need a rare snitch.
Yeah.
Or a rare
broom.
I don't know.
There's brooms. Testing me. I don't know.
There's brooms in Harry Potter.
Right.
I'm a good bullshitter, but I cannot bullshit my way through this.
But I think that's like an unfair metric to give it because I don't think.
You don't think anything
will we ever see another
Pokemon?
AR mobile game like this in our lifetime? That was
the
like
genius of
Pokemon
Pokemon was all about like going out and catching things that you found in the wild. So it was such a perfect fit for a mobile AR game.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, I'm trying to figure out like what's as little as I know about Harry Potter, I'm like, what's that going to be?
And that's the thing is I don't know much about Ingress either, like the game that Niantic had been working on and put out and had been successful with before Pokemon Go.
But
right?
it will be a license to print money, right? I mean, it's just
sure. I mean, like for when it comes out, I'm sure we all download it and do a Let's Play because Cool Greg in the other room is super into Harry Potter. So just to see him run around playing this and making this, and any chance for me to do my McGonagall voice,
get on your broomstick and run out looking for snitches.
Yeah, and that the screaming plant. What am I thinking of? What was the screaming plant called, Kev? Remember it? It was a root, yeah, but it had a name. Magaroot? He won't know.
You'll get a lot of responses.
We'll figure it out.
At the end of the
Number
show,
2,
50 people telling
on
me
the
what that
Roper
is.
Report. Joey, do you remember what the root was that yelled in Harry Potter? They had to put on earmuffs to pull it out, otherwise they all fell down.
Oh, the mandrake?
That's it. Mandrake? Yeah, that's it. Mandrake?
Oh,
okay.
just as an adjunct to that last piece, you know what I think? I'm sure you've discussed it, but
Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing, that's going to be huge.
Are you into it?
My wife more than me. We were watching that Nintendo Direct
Yeah.
together, and I could see her going like, my life is over.
Yeah.
As she was watching these features, and you can take Animal Crossing anywhere you go because she loves Animal Crossing.
Sure,
I like
too.
it too, but she's really into it. I suspect that will be the next big component for people who love Animal Crossing. This is the zenith.
The morning of when they announced, or they were like, oh, and whenever when we did the day before Kind of Funny Games Daily, hey, there's going to be an Animal Crossing Direct tonight for the mobile game. I was like, whatever. Like I like Animal Crossing. I'm sure I'll look into it later. Whatever. And the next morning when I read it, I was like, fuck, this sounds awesome.
Yeah, we watched it live, and it looked great. Like it's everything you would want it to be.
That's definitely I would hazard. No, I guess Battlefront 2. Right behind Battlefront 2 in terms of my anticipated November games is that Animal Crossing game.
So does that mean, do you think they won't bother doing like Animal Crossing for the Switch now? Because it seemed like that would be the next iteration of it, but maybe they'll just say, well, it'll be on the phones now instead.
The fact that they are different, that this is a campsite, I think for me, it's going to have to, we all get it and see how fully fleshed out it is.
Yeah.
But it does, with all due respect to Animal Crossing in general, the reason I'm so excited about it is it seems like a perfect fit for it, where Animal Crossing was a game, for me, my Animal Crossing story is in college when we had a GameCube in the living room and it was on there, and so me and 4 other roommates would come in, like somebody's at class, you'd pop in and you do your things, your tasks, and then you bounce out, and then you come in and see how the world changed. The idea of it being that, all right, cool, like all right, 15 minutes before this meeting, pop on, do this, get that.
My wife tells me stories about when it was on the GameCube. She used to set reminders for herself to you've got to, because it's a calendar, right? And everything has to be done in real time on certain days. That's what I think is so perfect about the phone is it's always there, and you'll be able to set up notifications and whatever plant watering or festival you need to go to, you'll always be able to stay. I think it'll be easier for people to stay on their Animal Crossing business because it's always going to be in your pocket.
Manageable and it's
you don't have to
small.
go turn on your console or whatever to make
that's the
sure
thing
that
with,
you're taking care of your town.
With Switch, right? Like I love my Switch and I play it often, but it's I don't play it every day. Not alone is it with me every moment.
You don't
The
take it
phone's
everywhere with
me.
you. The phone's always with you.
And so that's the thing of where people are like, there's the microtransaction tickets in it or whatever that can speed up time. And you supposedly from what people are playing in the Australian version, they're saying they're getting a lot of them without spending any really money.
it's already out in Australia?
Yeah, they did soft launch there. You should talk to your wife about it. You can make an Australian iTunes account, download it to your phone, then log back in as your real self. And then play on your normal phone.
And you're all good.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just didn't feel like
interesting.
jumping through all these hoops for it. But Grimecraft is playing it and he loves it and doing all this.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Can't wait to see when it comes out finally sometime this month. Number 2. Ubisoft is talking about the PlayStation 5 kind of on an investor call. This is via GameSpot where Yves Guillemot, of course, head of Ubisoft says, quote, as Sony launched PlayStation 4 Pro last year and Microsoft Xbox One X this year, we think we still have a minimum of 2 years in front of us before something new is coming. But that's our perception. We don't have any confidential information on that front. Guillemot went on to say that he likes that Sony and Microsoft are updating their platforms with iterative new consoles in the PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X, and he believes the new devices will aid the industry. Quote, we really like the fact that Sony and Microsoft are really putting more power in their machines, using the evolution of technology to give power to our developers to create better games for our players. That is going in the right direction rather than trying to accessorize or trying to do accessories or other things. That is going to help the industry a lot because the games will be really beautiful on those machines. Interesting to hear how Ubisoft's viewing this iterative stuff, because that has been the question of what happens to the quote-unquote next gen if you have these little
I don't quite understand the excitement about Sony and Microsoft putting more power in their machines, using the evolution of technology to give power to our developers. Isn't that what we've always done with each successive console generation? They get more powerful, and then the developers and the companies talk about, we have more power to deliver better games. We've always done that. The only difference now is that these consoles are more iterative than they are, here's the whole new generation, they're backwards compatible and all the old games work. That's the only real difference, but we're still... The technological progression is nothing new.
Sure, but you figure this benefits them in terms of sales in the short term. Rather than, hey, I'm making a game for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5, I'm a launch game on PlayStation 5 and it's going to sell 10 million PlayStation 5s, so I'm going to sell 5 million games, right? If you're iterating on the hardware that's already out there and has 7 million
I mean,
installed.
it was always tough to be in the launch lineup for a new console because the sales of the game were, if you were smart, I would always wait a couple of years for the install base to play. You never saw Rockstar launch a GTA game with a console, right? It would always come fairly into the maturity of the life cycle.
Yeah, it was a year out, right,
console.
for PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 2 to get GTA
Because you
3.
could have a huge game, you could have a really successful game, but there might not be that many people playing it because the install base isn't that big right at launch. This, I guess, is easier because, again, they're not being asked to make games that hang on just the new platform. They're still going to work with the other consoles
original
as well.
Xbox One, the original PlayStation 4.
But all they've got to do is do the enhancements, which I guess is much cheaper than building a whole new game.
Yeah, exactly. And you get it to more people, and your sales look better because they're not fragmented, right? A PlayStation 4 sale or a PlayStation 4 Pro sale in terms of who's playing the game doesn't matter. It doesn't read that way.
Right.
It's just the PlayStation 4 Xbox One copy.
I wonder if I'm sure Microsoft will be able to do it, but I wonder if they'll ever, I guess it depends on how successful it is. If they have huge amount of success with the One X, I'm sure they'll be able to track 40% of people already are playing playing this on the One X, the enhanced version. I'm sure they're able to pull that data. But in the same way that Xbox don't really sales figures because they're not brilliant compared to Sony. If a year from now they're very quiet about how that split is working out, maybe it's not gone brilliantly. But if they are trumpeting it, then it's gone well.
Yeah, you figure it was this year, and I don't have the number off the top of my head, where PlayStation finally talked about PlayStation 4 Pro sales. Not in terms of this is the number, but kind of percentages and how it's been working. And to your point,
right now, so how long has the PS4 Pro been out?
A little over a year.
So it's a good a year's a good time to check in.
Yeah.
What do we know? What the percent? If all the PS4s in the world that are out there, do we know what percentage of them are the pros at this point?
Not to my knowledge. I remember them finally saying something it might have been in this season it sold sold 2-to-1 kind of thing, but I forget what the actual statement was.
Okay.
But they finally mentioned the fact that here's something to digest on who's buying a PlayStation 4 Pro.
I do think there's going to be a little bit of consumer confusion out there. We were just talking about this before the show, is that you and I are fairly educated on this stuff. We live and breathe it, so we know the difference between a 1X and a 1 or and a PS4 and a Pro. But for like the dad or whoever who's going to the store to get the new console for or the uncle or whatever, or just someone who's like not totally savvy about this stuff, going to Target or Best Buy or wherever and seeing them all and grabbing a red shirt or a blue shirt and saying, what's the difference between the 1S and the 1X and the PS4 and the Pro? Like, it's not that complicated, but it's more complicated than it used to be.
Yeah.
Because there used to be just one console on the shelves from each company every year. Now there's two. I mean, Nintendo, it's very simple for them. They've just got the Switch. But now you've got two offerings from Nintendo and Sony at different price points. And I think there's going to be a bit of... I guarantee you on Christmas Day, there's going to be kids opening up a 1S and go, no, I wanted a 1X. I hate you. I wish I'd never been born, and all of that kind of stuff. Because S even sounds like X, like something that you could easily like confuse. So we'll see what happens. Don't you always love those videos? Like
these snotty fucking kids being horrible.
The kids are like, no, this is the wrong iPhone. Dad, you bastard. I hate you. And throwing it like, you just want to slap those kids.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. Your kid isn't like that, right?
What's that?
Your kid isn't like that.
No,
she's just happy to get
delightful.
Anything. Okay, good. All right. Number 3.
Although we had a bit of a drama recently where we transitioned her from round pizza to a square-shaped pizza. And she wasn't having it. This pizza is square. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with a square pizza. And she's like, it's going to be just
these
yucky.
Frozen pizzas?
The DiGiorno.
Yeah, DiGiorno. Yeah,
I think DiGiorno is actually really good.
The thick crust in there. Oh yeah, we're big DiGiorno supporters.
Yeah,
over
so
here.
we got her a square 4-cheese
that
DiGiorno.
pan thing. Yeah, they're doing.
So she didn't like the it was a square.
Yeah.
But then she tried it and liked it, and now she'll only eat square pizza.
Huh.
This is the kind of shit you have to deal with when you're a parent.
Well, when I was a kid, right, growing up in the suburbs of Chicago, every pizza night was Friday was always pizza night. They'd bring home pizzas.
Yeah.
And I remember once in a while, because I'm consuming so much pizza media in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Pizza media.
So much pizza media. The thing about
pizza was very big in the 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Do you think pizza sales went up because of the Turtles?
Oh,
must have done, right?
Yes, of course.
But
Yeah,
it's not like Turtles really helped get the word out about pizza. What is this thing, pizza? Maybe I should look into it. Like, everybody knew what pizza was.
I think everybody knew who pizza was, but Turtles made pizza cool.
They made it cool.
Where it was that thing where it was like, now you're watching a cartoon where these guys only eat pizza. It's the same thing Garfield tried with lasagna. But lasagna is just a harder food to come to terms with. You know what I mean? Like, your parents can only get so much.
I don't think Garfield ever made lasagna cool.
He tried.
He certainly
really
tried.
Yeah.
But no, I do think the Turtles made pizza cool. For
but
sure.
it was, for me, growing up in the suburbs of Chicago. They cut it in the squares. Like when you get when you go to local pizza
Little
shops.
Caesars still does that, right? They have their pizza.
They do like
square.
that Bigfoot thing. I think they'll do their regular pizza in slices.
Yeah.
But I remember like we'd go to like Baroni's in downtown Glen Ellen, Danny's out in Glendale Heights. We'd get these pizzas and they come in squares. And I had to sometimes ask like, I want to feel like a Ninja Turtle tonight. Can you ask them to cut it into pie wedges?
Right.
And they would. But I mean, like my
Right.
parents just like eat the fucking pizza. You know what I mean? I come home tired right now. I don't even have a kid there. I'd be like, just eat the damn pizza.
Is that a thing, like bones versus boneless, or is this like a polarizing thing, square versus?
I think it's polarizing.
Round pizza?
But I mean, if the internet, I'm sure the internet would love to make it into a thing. God forbid you just be happy with what you have on the internet. God forbid you have a preference on the internet. It's got to be a fight. You know what I mean?
And now you can have 280 character fights.
I didn't want to step up and have to be the hero the bone-in debate needed. But when somebody needed Captain America to step up for wings, that was me.
How did that work out in the end?
Oh, bone-in's the way to go.
Bone-in worked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. Because it's just, here's the thing. I like a good boneless wing once in a while. I don't think they're abominations. I'm just saying when the argument became, what is the better wing, there is no argument because one of them isn't a wing. Like we're getting into
I'm
semantics.
with you. I mean, if I'm going to eat something, I definitely want it to be wrapped around something inedible that I have to throw away.
Exactly. Because you want to feel like it's an accomplishment thing, right? It's like trophies.
I mean, I do like it at the end when you're gnawing off that last bit of gristle. You feel like kind of King Henry VIII or something, or a caveman.
It's a throwback. Why is it like medieval times? Because you eat with your hands.
I had some boneless wings the other day, though, and they were really good.
Where from?
Boulevard, Boulevard in Daly City.
No.
They had some barbecue, like chicken tenders.
Yeah.
Which I guess is a subset
right
of the...
Yeah,
it's kind of a boneless piece.
Yeah, it's just chicken.
It was good.
Okay. Number 3, we have a whole bunch of Take Two information from their earnings call or conference call. We're going to start with Gamasutra's article, which is mainly about microtransactions, so stick with me.
Oh, we're going to love this.
In a conference call with investors today, Take-Two Interactive chairman and CEO Strauss Zelnick made it clear that, at least for Take-Two, the games industry is now all about, quote, recurrent consumer spending, end quote, rather than game sales. Quote, the business, once upon a time, was a big, chunky opportunity to engage for tens of hours or perhaps 100 hours. That has turned into ongoing engagement, day after day, week after week. You fall in love with these titles, and they become part of your daily life, end quote. This perspective is not terribly surprising, given that Take-Two continues to generate tons of revenue from sales of in-game items and virtual currency in games like Grand Theft Auto Online and NBA 2K17. However, it still gives other devs in the industry a bit more insight into where Take-Two plans to take its business in the future. Quote, recurrent consumer spending opportunities, aka microtransactions. Quote, we've said that we aim to have recurrent consumer spending opportunities for every title that we put out at this company. It may not always be an online model. It probably won't always be a virtual currency model, but there will be some ability to engage in an ongoing basis with our titles after release across the board, Zelnick continued. That's a sea change in our business. Recurrent consumer spending is 42% of our net bookings in the quarter. It's been transformative for us, end quote. And Take-Two isn't alone. Just earlier today, Ubisoft reported its latest quarterly earnings, and player recurrent investment revenue was a big chunk of its revenue. Quote, one of the things we've learned is if we create a robust opportunity in a robust world in which people can play delightfully in a bigger and bigger way, that they will keep coming back. They will engage. And there is an opportunity to monetize that engagement, added Zelnick. There's a lot of room for growth. This is just the beginning. Gary Whitta, how's that stick with you?
I'm starting to think that we're not going to win this one, Greg.
Yeah?
Like, mate, are we just yesterday's men? Are we old men yelling at clouds here? Well, no, this is happening, right? There's no stopping it.
Yeah.
It's happening. Like, these are 42% of their revenue. Clearly, people are engaging in these microtransactions. Maybe they like them. Maybe we're just out of touch.
And here's my see, this is the thing, and this is what's been hard in the recent months of microtransaction hell and loot boxes and all this different stuff. I don't think microtransactions, in-game spending, whatever you want to call, is inherently wrong or bad. I think Grand Theft Auto Online, which we've just started playing, and I mean tip of the sword, just started playing here in the office. I play it, and I haven't put any more money into it. I could go buy the $99 to buy the Batmobile or whatever, get enough virtual currency for that. But if I play the game hours and hours and hours, I'm going to earn that currency and be able to buy it as well. And for me, I look at that $99, I go, yeah, right. I don't care about an apartment, a car, anything like that much. I care enough to play and chip away at it and one day hopefully earn it myself, but I'm in no hurry to get in there. I would say that GTA Online seems, from my limited time with it, and the success it's clearly found as a game overall, does microtransactions well. However, then you look at NBA 2K17 this year, another Take-Two game, did it incredibly poorly. Haircuts costing way too much, the return on the currency you're getting being so dismal that there's no way really to play the game and earn the currency to do the thing. That's one of them doing it wrong. And so that's still where I feel like we're at, where it's up to these developers who are using these tools to figure out what the sweet spot is to make microtransactions not something we all roll our eyes at and hate immediately, but make them not intrusive and not this. It's a very delicate balance.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right that it's execution dependent. It comes, some games do it better than others. Some games are more obnoxious about it than others. But at the end of the day, I think it's always going to come down to how much can they gouge you right before you say uncle. That's too much.
Yeah,
and they're gonna put it right up to that line. And so I generally think it's kind of a depressing trend, but I also think that increasingly, Greg, you and I are sounding like, old men complaining about today's, pop music.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't as good as the old stuff. Like,
meanwhile, these kids are playing it and they're like, I don't care. What are you talking about? I'm enjoying this game. I don't worry about it.
The only way this is going to be stopped is if gamers en masse rejected it. And it doesn't look like that is going to happen.
No.
So I think we just need to accept it, that this is the new way of things, and continue to push for responsible applications of it.
Celebrate the developers that are doing it wrong, or I'm sorry, celebrate the developers that are doing it right, and then chastise the ones that are doing it wrong. Publishers that are doing it right. Publishers that are doing it wrong. Which
on a
make it weird when
case-by-case
Take-Two's
basis,
bold.
I think we have to call up the ones that are, that we think are too abusive or not player friendly or just not done in a tasteful way or whatever. But I think the bigger fight, like we must stop the tide of loot boxes and microtransactions.
That's done.
The war's over.
Yeah. You don't even, people out there don't even know it yet, but it's over for sure.
Yeah.
They're here to stay.
Yeah.
Now, continuing with this Take-Two news, I'm going to jump to IGN. Over there, Grand Theft Auto 5 has shipped 85 million copies.
That's
Take-Two announced
insane.
today. Yep. According to the publisher,
85 million?
they're citing the NPD Group during its latest earnings report. Grand Theft Auto 5 is now the US's best-selling video game ever in terms of units sold and revenue. NPD says this is based on physical and digital sales across all platforms.
That's incredible.
And why would they change it, right? Clearly, GTA Online is what's motivating these people to keep buying this game.
It's never really been discounted, has it? I think it's always been like close to full price. Those games never really get deep discounts.
No, man. Why would
Why would they? Because people are paying full price.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's the constant, because they do. I mean, all credit to Rockstar. They are coming out with some inventive new online mode. It seems like almost every
week
couple of
there's
months.
something going on in terms of, hey, there's a new car, hey, there's this activity, it's double XP, there is this giant content drop. And for us dropping in to do some party modes that'll be up soon on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, it was a holy shit. Like you look, and then we started playing and it was like, this is a blast. Whether it's us just screwing around or us doing a mission or us doing a race, like it's something extremely special what they've built there.
Yeah, the degree to which they built out that world is really incredible. I mean, and look at the success they're having. I don't know what. I guess 6 is in development somewhere.
Sure, but they're in no hurry. You imagine, right?
Again,
They don't want to kill the golden goose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Red Dead will be interesting to see how they take what they've learned with GTA Online and apply that to Red
Well,
Dead.
I mean, again, they've clearly had so much success here. I think they must be thinking about how can we take this model and apply it. And I imagine there are, again, we talked about the horse rustling content drop and all kinds of cool stuff that you can do. That probably is my most anticipated game, bar none, right?
Sure.
I'm trying to think of one that would be...
For next year? I mean, like, how far are you talking about for something for next year? I think Red Dead... I
mean, just any...
Like Last of Us Part 2, Death Stranding,
in terms
like
of anything that we know about, yeah. Red Dead 2, by far.
It's because it's going to be awesome. Red Dead 1 was so good. I can't
so
wait.
excited.
Sticking with Take-Two and sticking with IGN, your final part of this Take-Two monster story is IGN is talking about next year and how there's going to be another big one, at least according to Zelnick. Let's go. Quote, looking ahead, we expect fiscal 2019 to be a record year for net bookings and net cash provided by operating activities led by the upcoming launches of Rockstar Games' Red Dead Redemption 2 and a highly anticipated new title from one of 2K's biggest franchises, Zelnick said in the statement. Of course, that fiscal year 2019 would fall between April 1st, 2018 and March 31st, 2019. Zelnick doesn't say which franchise that could be, but 2K only has so many currently active major franchises we haven't recently seen. This is IGN again. Borderlands 3 has been long expected, and earlier this year, Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford said 90% of the studio is working on a game. Quote, most of you guys want us to be working on, end quote. That would almost certainly be a new proper Borderlands adventure. Another 2K series Zelnick could be referencing is BioShock, which is getting a special collector's edition this month to celebrate the original game's 10th anniversary.
Wait, didn't they just put out a BioShock collection thing? Yeah, it was a collection, right?
Yeah, not too long ago there was that other one, but now this is the announcement of the BioShock 10th anniversary. You're talking about the collection of like BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite. That was
there was one that had 1, 2, and Infinite. It was all in one box.
Yeah,
because I picked that up last year.
This is the one coming with BioShock 10th anniversary, a Big Daddy statue.
Okay. All the stuff that I don't have room for in my house.
Exactly.
Anymore. Yeah. I think this is one of the ancillary benefits of this new, the what we're talking about, the Pro and the One X, is that it's I think relatively cheap to go back and dust off old games, give them a 4K or whatever HDR refresh, sell them all over again.
Yeah.
There's any number. I mean, Shadow of the Colossus is brilliant. That's another one I'm super excited for.
Yeah. Now they got that new control scheme.
The third go around for Shadow of the Colossus.
Right. Yeah. There was the original release. Then they did the PS3 re-release, and then this would be the PlayStation 4.
I mean, it's one of. I actually kind of like. It doesn't seem like a terribly imaginative thing to do, but there are certain games like Shadow of the Colossus, Red Dead, original Mass Effect games that each new generation just keep updating them, just make them look, as fresh as a daisy, and I'll keep going back.
Yeah, for this Shadow to be a real remake, not just be an HD collection, but be like, hey, this is like new everything, new textures, but it's the same game kind of thing. You're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
just rebuild it from the ground up, but it's like it's the same classic experience.
Yeah. I mean,
I love it.
that's why we're so excited for Patapon remastered, and why we can't wait for Patapon 2, which I assume is coming. If they're doing another,
you're a bit
Loco
liberal
Roco.
with the Wii there.
No, us right here, everybody, all kind of funny. We're
Patapon.
all very stoked. Don't you know it was great, Gary?
I never played
Change-
it, so I shouldn't.
Hell, Gary,
I shouldn't talk.
play
out of-
this.
out of
It's
turn.
that works. That's got a PlayStation 4K Pro patch, all that jazz.
Patapon.
I'll
does?
get you a code. Hold on, I'm putting a note down
All right. Okay.
because you got to play this game. All right, you know what I mean?
Patapon.
Play it with headphones. Patapon for Gary. There you go. I want to make that happen for you.
Okay.
Number 4. Square Enix is talking about E3 2018 and Switch, kind of. This is via Gematsu. Square Enix shared new information about unannounced titles and its thoughts on Switch during its latest financial results briefing. The company plans to launch currently unannounced smartphone titles in the second half of the fiscal year. And next fiscal year, it plans to launch big overseas titles, which are being prepared for E3 2018 and are described as sharp, powerful, and well-made. Square Enix describes the core architectures of PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch as similar, and says multi-platform development is possible by building a basic version of a game, then optimizing it for each platform. I assume they're learning this as they still try to get Final Fantasy 15 on everything. The company reports being told by overseas retailers and publishers that Switch is selling extremely well and recognizes that momentum. It says that Nintendo doing well is great for them and notes that Switch is in a unique position compared to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Switch is described as an opportunity to create middle-range games, and while it is very likely that creating these games would result in them being multi-platform, their expectations for Switch are high, and they will aggressively pursue development. Square Enix said that it will not rule out any IPs, new, existing, or revivals when it comes to Switch. Gary, are you excited for sharp, powerful, and well-made games in 2018's E3?
Well made sounds so.
Sounds like a diss to things they've made before.
Like damning with faint praise.
Yeah.
It's well made.
Yeah.
I do think that again, as we've said before, I'm always glad to see more people supporting the Switch. It seems to be kind of more of a. It's clearly a financial imperative to do.
You can't ignore it, right?
Yeah, you can't ignore it. It's a big hit system. And okay, so I'm going to wade flailing into your wrong territory here. I feel like I could get
Tear
this
off
really
your clothes
wrong.
and run right into it. Let's see what happens.
But I feel like Final Fantasy, like the Final Fantasy games in particular, and Nintendo go back a long way, right?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy games started on Nintendo.
To my knowledge, yeah.
And then at some point they kind of progressed over to the PlayStation, and they've kind of lived on those systems ever since. And then the Nintendo systems, because they've kind of sucked for the last couple of generations, have not really been getting the best of
The cream of the
Square
crop,
and
yeah.
Final Fantasy. But I would love to see Final Fantasy and the Square Uber come back onto Nintendo in a big way. Again, you're seeing it now. It's like people are coming back to Nintendo because finally they have a piece of hardware that has a story behind it that's hard to ignore, as you say.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they think. I mean, middle range games is an interesting way to put it, but I understand again what you would consider single A instead of triple A games that are.
I think
happening
the real
surrounding.
test is going to be you're looking at things like Skyrim and Doom and these games that are known, the kind of games you wouldn't expect to see on a Switch because they're so
intensive graphically.
yeah, the high system requirements, and you just don't imagine them porting down. I haven't looked at or seen any real impressions yet of like Doom on the Switch or Skyrim or the games. It's like, really, that's on the Switch? Usually, if those games can work, though, the sky's the limit in terms of why not full fat Final Fantasy on the Switch or any of the other big franchises that you would think, really, on Nintendo? Like maybe the Switch is more powerful than we think, but programmers may be finding ways to make these games work in a way that is not terribly scaled down from the versions we're familiar with.
Well, it's interesting. They talk about what they're not disqualifying new, existing, or revivals. With the Virtual Console not being up and running, what's to stop them from putting out remastered Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasies you remember from Nintendo?
What happened to that?
SNES?
Isn't the Switch like the Netflix thing that Nintendo was offering? You pay a monthly fee and there's always some retro games.
They're
Isn't that supposed
paying
to be
for
coming?
online service. Yeah. It's gonna. I think they pushed it to next
got
year
pushed
now
to next
officially.
year.
Yeah, I think they still need to figure out.
I mean,
how to make
I
any
see
of
all
that
these
work.
Neo Geo games on the eShop. I feel
Yeah.
like there is an opportunity there for
Oh
sure.
sure. Well, I mean, but they want you to be able to buy your SNES Classic before they ever put any of their classic games up there for someone
that's
just
a
to
good
buy.
point.
They want you.
I would love to buy a SNES Classic. They won't sell me one.
Yeah. The British
Every
thing,
store I
racism.
go to, sorry,
Out.
sold out.
Yeah.
You can always tell it's bad when you go to like GameStop and they have the sign up in the window. We don't have it. We don't have the
Go
Super
away!
NES. Please go away.
Yeah. You'll get one.
Eventually.
Yeah. The best friend will come through for you, I'm sure. You're going to be inundated today with tweets.
Well, we'll see.
About how DMs and this, and then they're just going to take your money and steal your identity. Number 5, Call of Duty World War II is literally killing it, says GameSpot.
Is literally killing it?
Literally doesn't mean literal anymore, so I can say whatever.
Doesn't it?
No. Remember, they did this. It can now mean figuratively.
I give up.
Yep,
Nothing matters anymore.
It doesn't. Call of Duty World War II launched last week and to a positive critical reception. And now we know the shooter has succeeded commercially too. During its opening weekend, the game sold twice as many copies as Infinite Warfare did the same period last year, Activision has announced. The 3 days following launch saw the new Call of Duty make over $500 million, and its PS4 version is the best-selling digital full game, ... on its first day of availability ever on the PlayStation Store. Quote, our 500 million opening weekend was not only bigger than Thor Ragnarok's, it was bigger than the opening weekends of both Thor and Wonder Woman combined, said Activision CEO Eric Hirschberg. And we're committed to supporting the community with continuous improvements in new content. Where are you coming down on Call of Duty? You excited to play this one?
I played it this morning.
What'd you think?
I've never had such an intense feeling of deja vu while playing a new video game. I played the Normandy beach landing and all that, and it's very well done. High fidelity graphics.
Yeah,
and the whole thing. But the whole time I was playing it, I was like, I've played this game before. This exact game. I've done this before. Was it Medal of Honor or Call of Duty that did Normandy? Or maybe
probably
both of them.
Yeah.
It's such a cliche now, and it uses all the same. After Saving Private Ryan came out, all those tricks. The shell goes off. A shell goes off near you, and all the sound drops out.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a guy with his arm blown off. Let's linger on that for a little bit because it's disturbing. I don't know if I'm going to be. Maybe the innovations are on the multiplayer side, or maybe there's more stuff down the road. That first mission that I played. I was like, I've done this already. Like, I get it, the graphics are better, but it feels like a remaster of a game I've already played rather than a new game.
That sucks.
But again, maybe maybe I have no fucking idea what people want anymore because I was bored by it. But look at the sales.
I'm gonna start it today. Hopefully, my hope for this one and why I'm interested is the story for single player. Did you get any of that in the little bit you got, or is it still setting that up? Yeah, I want it to be like Band of Brothers. It's supposed to be focused on this one unit and getting to know those guys and dealing with all their personal relationships.
I get it, but I've seen Band of Brothers and I've played these games before. I don't know. There've been so many World War II games and movies and TV shows and books and things like that. It's hard to as epically expansive as that war was. I don't know. I just feel like there was another way to go. Like, do we really need to do that Normandy beach? And again, it's very well done. Like, it's heart pounding when you're doing it, but it's like, I've done this. I've seen this a million times. Can you not think of anything else to do?
Yeah.
It's just blah.
I'm still gonna give it a shot. I want to see if the story paid off the way. Now, Gary, would you like to wade into internet drama?
Not really.
Too bad. We're gonna go to kindoffunny.com/KFGD, where Jared Hayes wrote in and says, hello, Greg and Gary. I was wondering how you guys feel about IGN's review of Call of Duty World War II and all the hate that it's getting. The reviewer points out things like, quote, too many white Americans, end quote, and, quote, only two genders, end quote, as negative aspects of the game. People are freaking out because the game already takes a lot of liberties when it comes to not being historically accurate, and it seems the reviewer wanted it to be more so. How do you guys feel about this? Love the show.
I didn't read IGN's review. What was controversial about it?
It just posted today. I hadn't heard of the drama, but I'm used to any time a review posts. But I had already known because I checked in this morning when I was doing my news roundup, looked at the IGN review, went over to see the score, saw it's written by Miranda, friend of the show. And I was like, okay, interesting. I'll come back.
What did they score it, by the way?
8.0.
Okay.
They say that means great on IGN scale, and they're like, it's in between. It's a game you should play, but it's not one of the best Call of Duties of all time. But it's not bad by any means. However, I jumped in there to see because I was like, there's no way. As Jared writes here, the reviewer points out things like too many white Americans and only two genders as negative aspects of the game. I'm like, that can't be true. So I went through, read the review, watched the video review, found the mention in the video review, but here's the text Miranda wrote, right? Though their appearances were fleeting, I appreciated the few diverse characters that highlighted the work of soldiers and resistance groups other than white American men in World War II. Okay, so no. She's not saying, the reviewer points out things like too many white Americans as negative aspects of the game. She's actually complimenting them on putting diverse characters into the game, though fleeting, to tell the story of it wasn't just white men finishing this up. Miranda then goes into its multiplayer, where she talks about the gender thing. Avatar customization is good. Avatar customization is in a good spot too. Yes, women belong in World War II multiplayer. Anyone questioning the realism should worry about the issue long after they've dealt with the Nazi zombies mode, to say nothing of the bunny hopping, Wolverine-like regenning health, and about a million other things that didn't actually happen in 1944. It's refreshing to see people of all races and at least two genders hanging out in headquarters, and I'm sure it would have helped the younger me feel less like an outlier in multiplayer. For this customization, World War II lets you choose a face rather than a preset gender. This is also a nice, inclusive touch. Again, she is not saying there are only two genders and that being a negative. She's complimenting them on the fact that it's being inclusive and including two genders, and then not even, if you're gender fluid, not even saying it's about a gender, it's about a face. I don't understand. I understand people getting mad and taking things out of context, but I felt interesting that Jared, the reviewer points out things as negative aspects of the game when it's actually the opposite, where she's complimenting them on these aspects of the game, not bringing it down that this is wrong, or it's something wrong with the white, or it's something wrong with two genders. That's the opposite. I don't know. I wasn't happy to see that comment roll through, and I'm not happy that if she's getting shit because of that, it wasn't aggressive in the review that I read or listened to. It was very much like, hey, these are two good things that are there, and for something to be good and be there doesn't detract from the other side of it.
I think the point about zombies and realism is very well made.
Exactly. It's a video game.
And I think that if people other than people who look like you and me want to play video games with the rest of us and feel like their character on screen is someone that they can recognize as themselves, what's the harm in that?
Right.
Again, and who are you to tell them that they can't do that? Fuck you.
And to your point from last week, right? Oh yeah, it's so realistic to have the loot crate drop on you.
I know. I got the shit kicked out of me by a German machine gun nest on the beach, and the guy says, "Here, take this," and I'm all meted up again. So realistic.
Yeah, it's a video game.
The realism argument is bullshit.
I agree. And then finally, last piece of Roper report for you, and this is a super short one. The SAG AFTRA strike officially ends today. The new agreement becomes effective today and will expire on November 7th, 2020. So the national nightmare of voice actors you don't necessarily know about being in video games is over. But Dylan does write in to kindoffunny.com/KFGD and says, so now that the voice actors strike is over, what changes? I'm not really sure how the industry was affected by the strike while it was going on, so I am curious to know if we will see anything noticeably different now. What changes, right, is the fact that voice actors will be compensated in a better, different way. You can go read all about that with rest days and, if they're doing intense work, something being different there. But it's also, what changes now is that you might still see it, but I don't know if it would. But look at Life is Strange Before the Storm. You won't have somebody standing in to be Chloe Price. Look at a little game we talk about here once in a while called Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. Me, Kevin, Nick, and Tim are all in that game, and we're in it, and we have a great time. We do it, but
who do you play in the games again?
I am Howard the Duck.
Okay.
Kevin is the Tinkerer.
Did you do a voice for that?
Yeah.
Can you do it right now?
Well, it's like more of a New York thing, a little bit higher of an octave and stuff.
So you didn't go with the MCU.
No, I tried that out for a long time, tried that on, worked with it, and then when I came in, they were like, we'll do a few takes that way, but we want them actually. So
it's more like a kind of Roger Rabbit kind of thing that you were doing?
That's right, Tony Stark over here. Like, I'm trying to remember the lines. It's
was that like a Brooklyn kind of thing?
Yeah,
you were doing?
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Because Marvel's so anchored in the universe.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I like that. That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I can show you clips later.
That's good.
And then Nick Spider-Ham. Kevin's Tinkerer, and then Tim is Throg, the Thor Frog.
Oh, Thor Frog. Yeah. I didn't know Thor Frog was a thing until recently. I thought it was great. Yeah,
there's a lot of weird shit happening in the Marvel universe. So I think it's more of stuff like that. Not that we wouldn't have gotten those opportunities. I was in Lego Avengers, right, as Aldrich Killian, and that was also with voice actors and things like that. But I think in this, they had a million characters, and they couldn't work with the SAG folks as usual, so it was like, oh well, who else can come in and do this thing? Similar to Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Did it take you a lot of takes to get it down, or did you have it right away?
It took Kevin a lot of takes, but here's the thing, Kevin, if you watch the Kind of Funny the animated series, or if you watch I guess we haven't released them, but when you play the game and see the Tinkerer, Kevin's really good. Kevin, they just work really hard at it or whatever.
I mean, I'll
hate
definitely be keeping an ear out for it because I loved the first Lego Marvel Super. I'm very excited. Is the new one coming out this year or early next year?
Oh no, it's out like next week.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And the whole family loves those games. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited about new Lego Marvel superheroes.
Okay, cool. Well, when
Yeah.
you get to us, let us know. We enjoy it.
Okay.
But that would be the thing, is that it would just be more sure. I think when you play Lego Marvel superheroes and Wolverine doesn't sound like the Wolverines from previous games, and Troy Baker's not in it, and I'm actually making a lot of assumptions right here, just based on who I believe they're SAG people, so they wouldn't be allowed in this game, and like Travis Willingham and Laura Bailey and all that stuff, and they characters you've heard them play before have different voices. That's why, and it's the same thing with Life is Strange, where Chloe isn't played by Ashley and stuff like that. But I don't know how many games are going forward that affects in terms of tracks that have already been laid down. There was a big conversation about it. It was about contracts. So even the games that were being worked on at the moment when the strike happened, they weren't directly affected because people already had contracts. So then it was the next game. But
So what were video game companies doing for voices during the strike? Were they just hiring scabs or doing it themselves?
We're scabs.
You're a scab. That's right. You're a scab. Yeah.
Yeah. We crossed the picket line.
You've crossed the picket line.
Sure. Yeah. No, I told Kevin distinctly, and he said, I don't care about
As a union man myself, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Sure. Yeah. I was in the other game, though, when it was union. I wasn't union then either. So was I a scab there, too? Or am I only a scab when I cross the picket line during an active strike?
Go ahead and get your SAG card, dude. I mean, why not?
I don't know. I looked into it, and it's just like, I'm not talented enough.
You're not talented
I'm
enough?
just not talented enough, I don't think, to do it, That's the biggest thing.
But then you could really, I mean, the sky's the limit at that point. I mean, you could...
But I'm the, Kevin's like, oh, I did a lot of takes. I do takes, I'm like, this is trash.
But yours sound really good.
I mean, you're one phone call away from James Gunn calling you up and saying, Greg, I happen to be, they sent me, because I'm in the Marvel family, obviously, they sent me a copy of the new game. I was playing it with my kid or whatever.
Yeah.
And I felt that you absolutely nailed it with your Howard the Duck. Like, it clicks for me now. Like, I can see how Howard the Duck can be like a big character in the MCU now.
Sure.
But I need you and I need your voice.
Yeah.
Presumably you would step up.
Well,
to
yeah,
the plate.
I'd sign on for SAG right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're going to wait for that call.
Yeah, I'm in no hurry.
Wouldn't that
That's
be cool,
the thing.
though?
This is my dream, doing the video
already
game
doing
talking.
this.
So it's like, people ask me all the time, like, oh man, do you have an agent or whatever? I'm like, no. Because like that's like when an opportunity comes along to be in a movie, when it comes to be for them to go down and do a TV commercial, when we get to be in a video game, that's awesome and fantastic, and I can't believe it happens. But it's never the motivating factor. We're not out there actively looking for those, right? And those opportunities would actually contradict with this. If it was like, all right, cool, I'm getting into SAG and I want to be a voice actor, and like I'm fucking leaving the work to do auditions and do all this different stuff.
So what would happen if you got a call from, say, ABC, and they said, Jimmy Kimmel's decided to retire next year. We've been watching your show.
Yeah.
We think you are the guy. You're the next Jimmy Kimmel. This is it. We're going to catapult you to stratospheric stardom, but you got to cut all these other guys loose.
Well, I mean, like, what do you mean by cut them loose?
Well, like, I mean, it's you and you alone. Like, it's like
I couldn't do it. That's already happened.
You wouldn't do. You actually turned down like star making opportunities like that.
Yeah, right after we
because
started,
of your
not
loyalty.
like star making opportunities, but we've talked in code about this. Like Colin used to mention it once in a while. Right after we launched Kind of Funny, I got approached for a television show hosting gig.
Oh.
And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm in. And they're like, cool, you're exclusive to this network. And I was like, okay, but like, I'm the face.
What about my boys?
I'm the face of a internet thing that puts out 4 videos a day. And they're like, let's look into it. And they came back and they had some ridiculous thing. And it was like, yeah, okay, you can, what they're, because I was like, well, let me do game. It was before, when the morning show was happening, but it was Colin and Greg Live. It was all these different things. But I was like, really, like, I need to do Game Over Greggy's show and Gamescast. Like, we can figure other things out, right? And they're like, all right, let me look into it. And they came back and like, here's the deal. You can be on one of those shows a month. And I was like, all right, see you guys later. This isn't going to happen. This isn't a thing that'll happen for me. And walked away.
I admire you, Greg.
Because, well, I mean, it was the thing of like, we do this to hang out with the best friends and the intimacy in exchange for the reach and all this different stuff. Like, it's not bullshit. Like, again, I live my dream. I get to come in here and horse around my friends.
You are the real deal.
Gary, I'm excited for everyone to play Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. But it's still a week away. If I wanted to know,
I'm excited. It's only a week away. I thought it was farther out than that. I thought it was early next year.
You're wrong. No. If I wanted to know though what came to the Mom and Grop digital shops today, where would I go?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily show hosts each and every weekday.
I'm feeling time because I did that thing I sometimes do, where I put in one thing on the new thing, but I didn't look at the list of the new things. Today, Max Curse of the Brotherhood comes to PlayStation 4. Also, the PlayStation app has been updated and now works more like a social media site.
What does that mean?
It looks more like you can like put statuses on it. I think.
Is that something that we
no,
want?
but it seems to run faster. I can
Do
look at my
you, I know
trophy
you're
symbol.
like heavy into PlayStation. Do you use that app much?
Yeah, not much. But now I think I will more because you hit the big PlayStation button then there and boom.
They've totally redone it.
Redeem codes are right there.
It was shitty before
trophies.
that app,
Yeah,
so I guess
of course.
anything they've done to change it can't be bad.
Your friends list is still there. Like, yeah. But it seems like it's better. I like it more.
Okay.
But I don't know how much more I'll use it. The redeem codes function is definitely going to be. It's just in a better place. The whole thing seems to run better.
Okay.
That's the big one. But yeah, the see new posts, I don't know how I feel about that. I put one up that said, I like
you do
PlayStation.
status updates?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. Yeah, see, there you go. I put up Greg Miller 2 hours ago. I like PlayStation.
I like PlayStation.
Right now, 121 likes, 18 comments. Let's see what's happening over here. Yeah, me too, says the Legend Gamer. Me too. I like Turtle, says Edgewise. So yeah, this is like the future.
Wow.
Now I only need one. I'm going to leave Twitter and only do this. Remember, you can follow me on PlayStation Network. I'm verified. So come do that.
How do I get verified?
Are you not already?
No, I am
Really?
on a lot various platforms, but not on PlayStation.
I'm putting you on this then too. Hold on. Get Gary verified.
All the strings that you're going to go pull for me.
Hey, man. You're riding with first class PlayStation
Without that
people
blue
now,
check
right?
mark, I just feel like I'm
No, you're
I'm
nothing.
nobody.
You kidding me? And
I'm
like, they
worthless.
just give them away. You see Job from Telltale, he has it on there.
He has one and I
Yeah.
don't. Oh, well,
Yeah.
now that's
Preposterous.
Okay.
New dates for you. Run Dorothy Run is coming to PlayStation VR on December 12th. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC, The Champion's Ballad, still doesn't have a real release date. But Tim and I were just talking about this earlier this week. The eShop on Nintendo is now saying December 2017. So we got a
But
month
there is
at
still
least.
one more big DLC drop.
Horizon Zero Dawn came out yesterday.
No. I mean for Zelda.
No, I know. This is the big story one.
Yeah, because we bought because my
Expansion
wife in
pack.
particular is so into it. We bought the thing like just buy all the DLC ahead of time.
Yeah.
So we've got one more coming, right?
Yeah. December,
great.
apparently.
Fantastic.
And then there's another Hitman game in the works, but don't expect anything in terms of like news until sometime in 2018.
Are we done with all the big holiday release? Is there
No,
anything?
Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Battlefront is still.
Yeah,
But you can
Battlefront
play
2 is
that
still in.
now if you have EA access, right?
Right, but it's only like the first little bit of it, or is it all of it?
I don't know.
I thought EA
I just saw
access was
some
something
tweet
like that.
about it.
There's that.
Battlefront's the only. That's it, right? Because Call of Duty was.
Something. I guess. Well, you mean like AAA big games, right?
Yeah, like the big, mega games.
Yeah.
Battlefront 2,
There's
I think, is
something
the only
coming.
one left.
Oh, PUBG finally gets released on Xbox.
Oh,
in
of course.
December.
Who can forget? 12/12.
Exactly.
That's going to be
exactly.
huge.
Yeah. I feel like I'm sleeping on something.
And is
that's happening
is
next
that a
week.
full release or is that like their version of some kind of beta?
That's their version
early
of early access.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but then the PC version also in December moves to the full
That goes
release.
1.0.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1.0.
Big day.
Yeah, can't wait. We'll see if this is the same day. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. Deals of the day for you. Uncharted The Lost Legacy is up on Amazon.com for just $20.
That is a good deal.
That is a
and
really
you can
good
get
deal.
Horizon for about the same now, I think.
And get
It's
that-
down to
get on that
$20.
DLC.
I gotta get a copy of that.
You do. You haven't bought it yet? You don't even own
No,
it
I
yet?
never got around to it.
But I know you didn't play it, but I was wondering, if you.
I didn't buy it, but now would be the time because it's only $20.
Okay.
Did you play Lost Legacy?
Oh yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah. It was.
Did it feel weird to be playing Uncharted without Nathan Drake?
Yes. No. What felt weird is that they promoted, and this is something that's like in the community torn us apart, but not really. We just have really good conversations about it. I feel like they promoted that game and got the messaging out that this was going to be like a full-fledged Uncharted game and be like whatever. And it is an Uncharted game. I'm not trying to take away from it, but it was more Uncharted 4.
Right.
But it wasn't DLC anymore, but it totally feels like just Uncharted 4.
Yeah, so it's not a full-size game, but it's not just like an expansion. It's kind of something kind of in.
Yeah, it was
in
what,
the
8
middle?
hours. Like it goes on. I mean, it's a good chunk of game. But
Yeah.
like Tim put it really well. I thought of like it felt like the middle part of an Uncharted game where you didn't get that intro in the beginning that really like, oh man, I'm like easing this world and I'm really behind everybody and I'm having a great time. And then the ending just didn't. Pay. I love the characters of Nadine and Chloe. I love the voice actresses, obviously. I just felt like they didn't have by the end the chemistry of like a Nate Sully or a Nate Sam if you're going from Uncharted 4.
But if you love Uncharted 4 and you just crave more, then it'll scratch that
and that's the
itch.
thing I did. And we had a conversation on here where some kids like wrote in. He's like, hey, why isn't Uncharted Lost Legacy ever coming up in discussions for Game of the Year anywhere, really? And it's just because it's just more Uncharted 4, which is great and weird to say because Uncharted 4 was a great game. But like that can't stand up to the new things that have come this year,
Are they
right?
done with Nathan Drake? With
Yeah,
there's
that's what they
no
said.
Uncharted 5.
Well, no, there won't be Never say never. They've said they've ended Nathan Drake's story.
Right.
But that leaves the door
But
open to other
as
Uncharted
one of
things.
the kind of pillars of kind of Sony exclusive titles,
Yeah.
like Nathan Drake is like as much the face of Sony as the PlayStation as anything. It
Sure.
seems weird that they would retire that asset.
We'll see. I mean, he'll still be in commercials, I assume, right? Sackboy overstayed his welcome quite a bit. But
Sackboy.
he was huge with kids.
And he's like Kratos and Nathan Drake to me are the two. And you see the characters, you go, okay, PlayStation.
Exactly, yeah. I would imagine that when PlayStation, I don't even know if PlayStation 5, but maybe not at the launch of PlayStation 5, years into the PlayStation 5 life cycle, I wouldn't be surprised if like at E3 it goes dark. It comes up with the, Sony Interactive Entertainment Naughty Dog logo, and it does like the, and then it goes, and then you haven't played Uncharted 4, or have you played Uncharted 4?
No, I finished it. Played it, finished it.
Not spoiling anything. I wouldn't be surprised if then they're going to eventually come back to this franchise, and I wouldn't be surprised if they came back with like Nate in like the Sully role, because it'd be the end of Nate's story as the protagonist.
New generation, yeah.
We'll see. That'd be cool, but I think Naughty Dog wants to move in a different direction for a while.
No, that's good. So you can see it right now. Like he steps out of the shadows, but it's like old Nathan Drake.
It wouldn't even be that, right? They let the trailer go, and they're showing gameplay and a giant demo of this new character, and you're like, it is Uncharted, is it not Uncharted? And then at the end, it is like Drake with a cigar of like,
you're like gravelly Nolan North.
Goddamn Dorado.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, wow.
Yeah.
Everybody gets chills and freaks out, buys that. We've been going for a while. So
I would buy that.
I want to give you a good question to get out of here on. You know what I mean? And there were a lot of good questions.
There's a question here about trophies. I'm surprised you didn't pick that one up.
We can jump in if you want there.
I mean, I'm just, because I know it's relevant to your interests.
Well, I know, but I know you hate them and you hate me, and I don't want to make you hate me any more than you do. Eric writes into kindoffunny.com/KFGD and says, hello, KFGD. On November 4th, news broke out that trophies are getting an additional use. They can now be redeemed for PSN credits via opting in for Sony Rewards program. Did you hear about this?
No, this is all new to me.
We talked about it on Janina's episode, and a lot of people missed it, because every day people write in acting like I missed this news when we did talk about it, but they were so distracted by Janina talking about Battlefront 2.
Oh, Janina, she's the star of Battlefront 2, right?
Correct, yeah. So the idea now, Gary, is you can go to SonyRewards.com or wherever the URL is, link your PSN, and then the trophies you earn you money or earn you points on Sony Rewards that you can then spend on video games, TVs, all sorts of stuff.
I mean, I'm surprised you're not frothing at the mouth over this.
Well, he goes into why here in 1 second. Eric continues. The rates are 100 silver trophies is $1, 25 gold trophies is $2.50, and 10 platinums are $10.
Oh my God.
This perk is only available in the US and is not retroactive. Folks are saying that the rates are disrespectful for the amount of effort that goes into earning trophies, but I see it as a nice bonus for a small hobby. What's your take on this? Thanks for all you guys do.
So this is the economics of this is essentially the PlayStation version of when you go to the arcade on the pier and you play skee ball all 100%. Day and you get a million tickets and you get a fucking rubber spider at the end.
Yeah. It's 100% that.
Yeah.
And Sony Rewards has been around a while, but now we're only talking about it. A lot of people are only noticing because they just introduced this trophy
But I mean, if you're already playing like a madman and getting the trophies anyway, why not cash them in?
Yeah.
But certainly the exchange rate is derisory.
Yeah,
right?
that's the thing. Where when it first got announced, it happened right before we went on for Kind of Funny Games Daily. I read through it. I put a mention in there. We talked about it. I'm like, that's cool and blah blah. And my hope was they were going to be retroactive because I thought that would be super awesome.
Right.
And they're not. They're
only it's only going forward.
If you're don't be silly. It's similar to like PlayStation Plus, right? Stop when you get a chance today. Go over there, register, link the accounts because you're saying goodbye to free stuff. And it's one of those.
I mean, you might as well do it.
If for years I could have been doing this and putting them away and not thinking about it, and then being like, oh wait,
okay. So you redeem it through whatever Blu-rays, Sony product offerings,
and they have things on there of like I went on today and it's like, oh, you have 80 some points or whatever, and I was like, oh cool, and I'm like, are the trophies counting? And it's like, first off, when I first looked at it, I didn't even realize it was like packs of 10, like 10 platinums or 100 golds or whatever,
right?
And it's not. It's purchases that I've made on PSN. The money I spent on PSN is coming over now. I'm
curious
towards
to
points
know
there.
At this exchange, and I know, and as you said, it's not retroactive, but I'm curious to know because I know that you like your trophies and you've collected a lot. If you were to take every trophy that you've collected today,
cleaned up, buddy.
And at this exchange rate, what do you think they would all be worth in cash?
I mean.
So we know that 10 basically a platinum is $1,
and I have 59 of those.
Okay, so that's $59 off the bat.
No.
Oh no, it's $5.90.
Yeah, right. Well, it's $10 per 10 platinum. So let's just go up to 6. I have $60 there.
You have $60.
Yeah, that's awful. That's a terrible exchange.
Yeah. For all the work you put in.
Right, but I was never doing it to do
again,
this.
It's better than a poke in the eye with a blunt stick.
Well, I mean, what the option before this, we got nothing. That is a good one, actually. No. I mean, yeah, I'm getting something that I wasn't getting before. Whatever. I think, could it be better? Yeah. Does it need to be? No. Like, I was never really being like, oh,
I mean, take the 2 minutes to sign up, and you know, maybe 10 years from now, you can get yourself a memory stick or something.
You'll get Spider-Man Homecoming on Blu-ray. It'll be great.
Spider-Man on Betamax.
Yeah. But if you're spending a lot of PSN money, you might as well do it. That's my thing. I wish it was better, but I'm not offended.
We do it with Disney because we get a lot of Disney stuff in the house because, you know, kids and what have you. And every time you buy a Disney movie, there's a little code in there.
Yeah.
And you redeem it. And eventually you'll go, I can buy like a DVD or something, or you know, a little microfiber cloth or something.
Oh, wow. Yeah, with the Disney logo on it.
Yeah, with the Disney logo on it.
Of course. How great. Time to squad up. This is where one of you writes into kindoffunny.com/KFGD. You give me your name, your username, your platform of choice, and what game you need help in. I read here, the best friends find you, and everybody has fun. Today, Mitch is writing in. He needs help on PlayStation 4. His PSN name is Cool Breeze 99, and he puts in parentheses, please, Shu, let us change our names. He spells it cool, BREES 99, all one word, and says,
as in like Drew Brees? Okay.
Yeah. I need help with one last trophy to get the platinum in Watch Dogs 2, parentheses. I cannot, for the life of me, get the last bounty hunter trophy, and it's all that stands between me and this elusive platinum at this point, aside from the pukey one, but that gets easy enough. I also play Destiny 2, and my clan just disbanded, so I'm looking for best friends who may want to start a new clan and do the weekly Nightfall/PvP. Appreciate all you do. Best wishes from your true North friend in Canada, Mitch. So everybody hit up Cool Breeze 99. Checking on that.
So when you put out a flare like that on behalf of someone, the next time they check into their PlayStation, do they have like a ton of friend requests?
Yeah, messages wishing them well.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, probably a dick pic. I don't know. I'm sure somebody's out there trolling people. But most of the time, I bet it's really good kids. Time for You're Wrong. This is where one of you writes in to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong.
I have a feeling like we got a lot of stuff wrong.
You think we did bad today?
I don't know. I just have a feeling.
You put in there the fact we got wrong. We read it here. We set the record straight for everyone listening later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. What's the date today? 7th, right?
It's the
8th?
It's the 8th.
I say the 8th at the beginning of the show. I forget every time. The thing's got stuff in there from yesterday still, so hold on. Clicking this one, clicking over here. 7th. There we go. Here's an 8th one. Oh, it's Capitalist Pigs. Capitalist Pig. The most recent info on the PlayStation 4 Pro sales he could find is from IGN on June 5th. An interview with PlayStation executives from Europe and America has revealed that the PlayStation 4 Pro accounts for about 20% of PlayStation 4 systems currently being sold.
20%.
Yeah, and that was in June.
Okay.
So that's interesting. More people saying the same thing there. Albie, the one and only. I don't know. You don't have time when I'm reading them fresh to, do if they're actually you're wrong. Like, this could be editorializing, but just give you more information. But I'm reading anyway. A professor at the London School of Economics said that the Harry Potter franchise was worth about $4 billion with an upside down. It looks like a J. They got a line through its chest, but it's like a 7. But it's got the thing. We'll say 7 pence, 4 pence, 4 billion pence. But he says about
4 billion pence,
5.2 billion USD to the UK. So I know I was making a lot of jokes. It didn't work. I'm sorry. Pounds, 4 billion pounds. Definitely puts it up there as one of the UK's chief exports.
Oh, I see what you did. Okay, all right, yeah, very good.
It didn't work. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, just an FYI, this is from Lucid Dream. Just an FYI, GTA 5 has been discounted down to $30 frequently throughout the past 2 years.
Oh, it has. Okay. All right. Well, I take that back. See, I did get that right. I told you I got something wrong.
Well, you're okay. Don't worry. Nobody's gonna get you on that one. A lot of GTA stuff now. Theories about stuff.
So GTA, the money is coming from not. You don't buy the DLC, right? Those DLC drops are always free. Like when they announce like a new game mode or something.
Yeah, that's free. But then like when they announce new cars, they sell them in game, but you can buy
they sell those
money.
stuff. Okay, so it's all microtransactions inside the game. Okay. And is that stuff that you can also earn just by grinding? Yeah. And the money's a shortcut to it, or is it stuff that you can only get if you want to pay money?
I'm not well versed enough in that. For sure, like the car, like I want the Batmobile, I could grind out and buy the Batmobile.
Right.
So, but I'm not sure if there's anything that is locked off without. I would think no. I think you could get everything through grinding if you wanted to. Then Double Ray says Horizon and Uncharted: The Lost Legacy are both $19.99 at Best Buy, but $15.99 with Gamer Club Unlocked. Both are great deals. People love that Best Buy Gamers Club.
What is
Gamers
that?
Club Unlocked. It's this thing you sign up for at Best Buy, and it gives you another $5 off or something to that effect on all your
Best Buy
games.
they just won't die, will they? They're
No,
hanging in there.
Every time we talk about Amazon on the show, or how we don't go to brick and mortar, somebody brings this up, and you can use the deals online too. You get a whole bunch of other discounts. You're gonna get everybody tweet Gary about Gamers Club Unlocked because I don't want to talk about.
There's another one. Another one in the city just closed down.
Which one?
The one on Masonic.
Really?
I went in there the other day to look at something, and it was all you get to that point where they're literally selling the shelves.
Yeah,
that's where they were at. Yeah,
that's crazy. I didn't know
that one's
down.
closed down. I think Harrison is the only one in the city left.
Yeah,
the big one. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow. And then the indie boy Mark Freeman writes in and says, "Hi Greg, how could you miss the European release date of My Name Is Mayo? I can't believe My Name Is Mayo is finally out in the
You should be ashamed
in
of
the
yourself.
EU. Everybody get it. Come on, easy platinum right there. That's what you want."
There's a really interesting piece on about Best Buy. There's a really interesting piece on Vice News this week about a Blockbuster in Alaska. There's still like a Blockbuster store up in somewhere in the middle of Alaska, and it's like going back in time. Like it's a functioning legit.
You still walk around and see all the new release wall.
Yeah, and it's and tourists go there and they think they've gone like in a time machine. But for the people that live there, it's like a really simple equation. Like the internet is shit up there.
Yeah.
And so the Netflix has not put them out of business because they just don't have the
Bandwidth,
the infrastructure, the bandwidth, and so people still go. Do you miss that? Do you miss going to the video store and like picking out a title? To
When I
take home?
talk about it nostalgically like this, like yeah, that'd be fun to go back to one. But I don't.
You
miss
wouldn't.
it.
You wouldn't actually want to go back to
like,
it. You like the idea of it.
We've watched like 3 movies. Well, I guess if you count the 30 for 30 Ric Flair yesterday as a movie, we watched that. But then the other night, it was we watched Baby Driver. And finished it and was like, that was great. And we were like, oh, it's still early. And Jen's like, you want to watch Ingrid Goes West? I'm like, yeah. And I was like, double feature night. And it was totally awesome. And it was right there with Amazon. Just dink, dink. And I had them both. And we watched them right there. And it was amazing.
It's inconceivable to this next generation of kids coming up that this is what we had to do. You had to trudge to the store or drive because maybe it wasn't, as far away.
Right.
And then you had to hope they had the new releases. Maybe the new releases were all checked out.
And not to mention, you bring it home and it's bad. Too bad. You're committed to it.
And then it's no good. You're committed to it.
Netflix now, it's like the first 5
And
minutes
then
are
the
no
worst
good.
part was you had to take it back to the store.
Rewind it too. Yeah,
and
yeah,
rewind
yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that was like a big
I used
thing,
to
like, how
rack
do we
up
do
all
this?
kinds of late fees because
Oh,
I
yeah.
just didn't want to take it back to the store.
100%. Yeah,
Oh
we
my
just
God.
tried to, when we were going to the one off Bloomingdale Road out there, it was right next to a Jewel Osco. So the idea was get them for the sleepovers on Friday night, watch them, maybe watch again Saturday, and then get in the car, going to the grocery store, piggyback off that with mom and dad, walk over, return the movie.
I read a thing. There was like an ex-Blockbuster manager or somebody was talking about this recently. And they were saying that part of the reason why the frustration was like whatever the hot new release of the week was. Like you go there and it's like it's out. You just see the empty spaces there. It's out of stock. The thing you went to the store for wasn't there.
Yeah.
And they would say they never really bothered to make sure they had like high stock of the newest releases because it's expensive to do and whatever. But like, because if you go into the store looking for the newest release
It's not
and it's
there.
not there,
You're
you just
getting a movie.
you just get something
You're
else
getting a
anyway.
movie.
Like,
You're
we're here
watching-
now.
You walk the horror aisle, like picking stuff up, reading the
But
back
that's
of the
in a
box,
purely
put it back
nostalgic way. In this Vice, worth watching. It's on this Vice documentary this week, and you see people in the store, like this kind of sweet old couple, like looking at the boxes, going, "Should we get this one?" Oh, and they read the little thing on the back. Oh, I heard
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
good. It's
yeah.
like, oh my god, yeah, we totally used to
down. I
do
remember
that.
that.
But again, it would be hell to go back to.
Oh God, no, you don't
it
want
would be
it.
hell.
Yeah, no, it wasn't, Kevin. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. If you like that, catch it on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. Catch it later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, or listen on podcast services of your choice each and every day, no matter where you get it. Please subscribe, like, share it with your friends. Even if you're never going to watch it on YouTube, go over there and subscribe. What the hell? You know what I mean? You got nothing to lose. This has been Gary Whitta, of course. He's an employee now.
I'm
Tomorrow,
an employee.
Andrea Renee will join me again for the show. And
Was Andrea on yesterday?
She was, yeah.
Okay.
She usually does
Tuesdays,
Thursday.
Thursdays, and I'm in the middle.
Right, yeah. Usually anchor Tim on
There's
those.
been some interest in me and Andrea hosting together.
Sure. I would like that a lot too.
Yeah, could be some good chemistry there.
Okay. I'll give up a Widow Wednesday or whenever you work again.
Yeah, so that's that. I might not be here next Wednesday.
Okay.
But if you want to pick a different day,
Sure. We'll figure it out.
we'll figure it out.
Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.